Hello there. Today I want to talk about something that is close to our hearts in terms of how we organise ourselves, because I'm a great believer in the power of organisation. I think that actually most businesses could grow 10%, 20%, even 30% simply by being better organised. And one of the things that helps people get organised is management models. The one I want to talk about today is the concept of urgent versus important. What's the value of it? Well, from a start, it gives us a framework that allows us to avoid overload. It allows us to manage our kind of work levels and identify those things that are important. So time, like every resource and more than any other resource, is scarce. Once it's gone, we can't ever get it back. It's totally finite. So the model is about how we allocate scarce resource in terms of people, time, and I think perhaps most importantly, our attention, because I think that's one of those resources that too is finite. And it's critical in growing the business. Where we put our attention, where we put our brain is going to determine where we end up. I think it's one of those very fundamental resources as a business owner that we have. We feel like we've got it in abundance and we tend to waste it. So this management model helps us get clarity about where we should be putting our attention, where we should be using our time. And once that happens, we get less stress, because stress arises when there's a conflict between what we do and what we know we ought to do. So this is a great way of thinking about it. And the urgent versus important is something that's been around for a long time. It was actually wonderfully put by Dwight Eisenhower, who to this day is organised the single largest piece of human organisation in human history, being the D-Day landings, millions of men. And he talked about the two kinds of problems. He's got the urgent problems and the important, and he tended to find that the urgent weren't important and the important weren't urgent, which is a nice way of thinking about it. But when it comes down to the practicality of it, we have to have a slightly more sophisticated understanding. So first off, we go through and we say, okay, what are those things that are urgent? What are those things that are important? And there are low importance, high importance. So this is a simple matrix for thinking about it. What's in those categories? Well, we start with those things that are very important and very urgent. And it might be, for example, that our biggest customer, the chief executive, is ringing to complain about some aspect of our delivery, and panic stations, and it's important. It's really important. There are those things that are low important but highly urgent. Now they might be D-class customers who having a similar kind of exercise, really. You've got your high important but not urgent, and those are the ones that Eisenhower identified. So that might be thinking about that might be your business plan. That might be some staff development that you need to do, some coaching. Very important, but nobody's screaming for it. It's not urgent. And then, of course, there are those things that are neither important nor urgent. So how should we think about these things? What should we do with them? Well, in the first place, with those things that are urgent but not terribly important, we should delegate them to somebody who can take it away from us. Obviously, with our highly important and highly urgent, we're going to respond, we're going to work on it. But if we do that too much, we'll end up firefighting. What we really need to be doing is thinking about a process for ensuring that we don't have to fight fires, because firefighters are actually incredibly well organised and they work through a plan. They don't just rush into the fire. They take the time to think about the most important areas that they need to get to and the most urgent, and then they organise themselves around that. Of course, with those things that are not important or urgent, don't even go near it. It's not your job, it's actually nobody else's job. These are the things that if you don't do them, they will simply disappear and no one will know. We often just go to those things because they're easy to do and they represent a kind of tick on the checklist. The highly important but not urgent, those are the things that we need to plan for. So that relates to the firefighting. What we should be doing in that quadrant is those things that make sure we don't have to fight fires. This is a simple way of thinking about the long list of things that we've got to do every single day. What are those things that are highly important and low urgency, because we should spend some time on those? We're inevitably going to spend some time on the important and urgent. We should spend no time at all on those that are neither. And we should identify who we're going to give the job to of something that's urgent but not important.